Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Supreme Court justices weigh in on the Capitol riot.
This is going to give daylight to a lot of people that have been convicted.
What the ruling means for some Illinois residents facing charges for their roles on January 6th. South Suburban sticker shock, why some homeowners could see their tax bills more than double.
Passing showers on the radar now, then a chance of thunderstorms tonight. Gusty winds, thunder, lightning, all possible. We'll let you know when it pulls out of the area.
We begin here at 6 with breaking news. A second person is in custody for the deadly shooting of a retired Chicago police officer. A 17-year-old was arrested yesterday. CBS 2's Noel Brennan is at the Layton Criminal Courthouse where that teen will appear in court tomorrow.
Days after a 16-year-old turned himself in, a 17-year-old is now in custody. Both are accused of killing retired Chicago police officer Larry Newman. The name of the 17-year-old has not been released, but he is due in court here tomorrow. On the day of the shooting in West Garfield Park, the suspected shooters are seen on surveillance video walking through an alley. Left, and 16-year-old Lazarius Watt is on the right. Watt was charged with first-degree murder this week. Prosecutors say those teens had guns and walked up to Larry Newman outside his home. Newman was with a worker mowing his grass. Prosecutors say Newman pushed the worker out of the way and reached for his own gun as he was shot several times. He managed to fire a single shot, but he died from his injuries. Newman was a Marine and the longest-serving explosives technician at CPD when he retired. He was 73 years old. Today, family St. Michael Missionary Baptist Church in West Garfield Park. Tomorrow, he will be laid to rest. Reporting from the Layton Criminal Courthouse, Noel Brennan, CBS 2 News.
A great wet Friday, and the showers may stick around for a few more hours. Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon is here. Albert, we could see some strong storms a little later.
Yeah, we're going to keep the light stuff on the Doppler radar, Erica, through about mid-evening, and you're right, overnight a chance of thunderstorms. At the moment, it sprinkles and drizzle over Cook County and Chicago. A little bit more steadier rainfall, light to moderate rainfall around Morris and Grundy County, moving off towards the east, moving across at least the southwest corner of Will County. So batch number 1 moves out. Here's batch number 2. That's going to be after 11 p.m. Showers and thunderstorms possible in Chicago after midnight. Downpours, thunder, and lightning. Can't even rule out a few thunderstorms tonight, producing some gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour and some small hail. Some heavy rainfall still down towards the south pre-dawn hours of your Saturday. And then the sun is out and the 90s are back for your Saturday. A lot cooler, though, on Sunday. The full weekend forecast is coming up.
All right. Thank you, Albert. A new Supreme Court ruling could have a big impact on hundreds of people charged in the January 6th Capitol riots. CBS 2's Tara Molina found cases here in Illinois that could be affected.
Nearly 50 Illinois residents have been charged for their role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Some of them are already behind. Says this Supreme Court ruling could mean major changes in at least one of those cases.
The people you see here among the more than 1,300 charged in the attack. More than 350 of those people charged specifically with obstruction of an official proceeding. It's the charge the Supreme Court has ruled was improperly used by prosecutors in a decision on the Fisher versus the United States case, meaning at least some of the hundreds charged could have their cases reopened.
They were charged with stopping the election count, period.
CBS Chicago legal analyst Irv Miller is breaking down the charge and the decision for us.
The court says, listen, it's got to be more than stopping the election count in Congress. You have to do something in addition to that, like start destroying evidence to persist in the obstruction.
We looked closer, focusing in on Illinois. We've told you there are at least 5 cases in our area where the obstruction charge applies. These 2 men were convicted. This is Thomas Adams from Springfield, holding a Trump flag inside the Senate chamber. Adams was sentenced to 14 months on an obstruction charge, and others, he's already served his time and has been released. But
if I was his lawyer, I'd say, listen, Mr. Adams, we should go back in the court and get that felony charge, the obstructing charge, thrown out so you're not a convicted felon. So even though he is out, he should get some relief.
now you're looking at a photo of Kevin Lyons from the Chicago area. He posted a photo from outside Whose house? Our house. Charged with obstruction, among other charges, he was sentenced to 51 months in prison and is currently behind bars.
Because that was the major conviction, the others were misdemeanors, he's probably going to file a motion to get out ASAP.
Lyon's attorney didn't want to comment. Miller says he won't be the only one likely pushing for release today.
What it could look like is people actually getting out of jail tomorrow, because if they were sentenced under the statute and no other charges or sentences on other charges apply, that means they're entitled to get out immediately. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the doors of the penitentiaries open up quickly.
We're still tracking cases here in Illinois that could be impacted by this, with many of them still going through the legal process. You can read more on the Supreme Court decision and everything that led up to this in the story that's up on our website right now. Reporting downtown, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
Now to the latest on the train derailment in South Suburban Madison. The Federal Railroad Administration is investigating the cause. Chopper 2 was over the cleanup site earlier. It needs a controlled burn at the site to get rid of the chemical residue from 11 cars. The railroad says the burn will not endanger area residents. New at 6 at Highland Park. They prepare there to mark 2 years since the 4th of July parade shooting. The family of one victim is now suing gunmaker Smith & Wesson. The family of Eduardo Uvaldo, a grandfather who was killed in the shooting, is suing the maker of the M&P-15. That's the AR-15 style weapon used in the shooting. Some survivors and families of children who were at the parade are also part of the suit. Their lawsuit attempts to hold Smith & Wesson accountable for continuing to market its M&P-15 despite its use in 4 mass shootings over the last decade. Right now, a Lincoln Park man is recovering after he was stabbed during a home invasion. It happened just before midnight at Armitage and Clifton. Police say another man broke into the home and stabbed the victim several times. Officers arrested the suspect a short time later. Charges are pending. Chicago police say officers will line the entire route of Sunday's Pride Parade in Lakeview. It's all part of a safety plan that includes canceling officers' days off to make sure there's enough manpower. Police are also working with federal authorities to address any threats made toward the event. Winnebago Park is trying a new strategy to stop illegal fireworks shows like these. It's taking over the space with a day-long family event. The goal is to make sure there's no place to get off the illegal displays. The 4th of July Family Festival features musical performances and disc golf. It runs from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. The so-called grandmother of Juneteenth makes a stop in Chicago. Why she's telling young artists the fight for freedom isn't over yet. And a celebration in Lake County. Why conservationists are so excited about these tiny eggs.
Sponsored locally by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
Now you can get your CBS Chicago news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Conservationists are excited about a new family in Lake County. Endangered piping plovers Blaze and Pepper welcomed 4 new chicks on a protected beach site near Waukegan. Shorelines have been a threat, but monitors are cautiously optimistic these chicks will make it. The woman known as the grandmother of Juneteenth is here in Chicago to celebrate Black culture and inspire local artists. 97-year-old Opal Lee was invited to help kick off an arts event called Black Aura here in the Austin neighborhood. Back in 2016, Lee walked from her home in Texas to Washington, D.C. in an effort to get Juneteenth recognized as a national holiday. She was by President Joe Biden's side when he signed the holiday into federal law in 2021.
I feel like we need to spread the word about freedom as often as we can and in as many places as we can. So here I am.
Lee told us her favorite memory of Chicago is when she brought her great-grandkids here to see the Jackson 5. Many South Suburban homeowners are stressed about their tax bills.
It's pricing everyone out their homes.
What's behind the spikes, in some cases doubling what residents are used to paying? Soaring property taxes are on the horizon for South suburban homeowners. Among the hardest hit communities, Dixmoor. CBS 2's Suzanne Lemonnier is talking to residents who will be impacted.
With the increase in taxes, it's pricing everyone out their homes.
Corey Campbell has lived in this house in Dixmoor for the past 4 years. Campbell says he appealed his last property tax bill because of a reassessment.
Most of the people we know, that I know, the appeal was denied, or we're still waiting for some type of feedback.
Now, his newest property tax bill will be mailed out on July 2nd, after the median tax bill has more than doubled in his community and nearby Phoenix.
If our taxes are going up, I would like to see some better improvement within Cook County.
In addition to the reassessment, each property tax bill lists in detail how much more certain levies have gone up, so taxpayers will know why they're paying so much more.
Our message to viewers is read. Open the bill, read. Open the bill, don't pay it, read it. Read it first. If you read it, you'll understand where it is that's going. And in the vast majority of cases, 60% of these bills are going to public schools.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas had a research team do an analysis of 2023 tax bills, and they found in most of the southwest suburbs, tax bills are up about 17%. In 13 of the 15 suburbs, bills are up 30%. Pappas says those 13 communities are all African American. Homeowners that we spoke to say that this property tax increase is a huge burden for them because the cost of basic necessities are skyrocketing.
Basically a problem for the ones that are trying to survive.
Magda Campos says she pays $1,000 each month to live in this Dixmoor home that her brother owns. She says when it comes to the cost of food,
it's insane of how much the prices has gone up. And then now that the taxes of the, are gonna go up, I think it's unbelievable.
Tax bill payments are due August 1st. Campos says she will understand if her brother has to increase her rent to pay that bill. In Dixmoor, Suzanne Lemonnier, CBS 2 News.
If you need a payment plan, you can find information on the Cook County Treasurer website. The Lincoln Park Zoo is playing retirement home to golden years comfortably. Zookeepers even built new ramps in their habitat to make it easier for them to get around. Paws Chicago was welcoming more than a dozen cats so shelters can help pets forced from their homes by severe flooding. Volunteers left this morning to pick up these kittens and cats from the Humane Society of Northwest Iowa. After a quick medical checkup, the animals should be available for adoption Monday. Well, turning to the weather now with Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon, and not just showers, but maybe a potential for some storms, Albert.
Yeah, especially after midnight. At the moment, though, as you look live from the Hancock, we've got some sprinkles on our lens here. It's mainly light activity, mist, drizzle, light rain. That's going to work across the area as the next couple of hours go on. And then as we get closer to midnight and beyond midnight, that's when we have a shot of having some thunderstorms, some of which could be on the stronger side. We'll have some rain linger into tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, it's all about the heat. We're going to make it into the 90s in most spots on Saturday. Sunday, it's a different story. 60s near the lake, 70s everywhere else, and a high rip current risk for lake goers on Sunday. So Saturday afternoon, a better day to go to the beaches than Sunday. We'll talk more about that in just a second. There's all kinds of green on the Doppler radar, but this isn't mounting to a whole lot. It's so light. A little bit more here in southern and southwestern sections of Will County, stretching out towards Grundy County and tracking off towards the east. In Chicago, it's mainly just some sprinkles and light rain. On the south side, a couple of areas of yellow starting to pop up, so a couple of moderate pockets, but none of this severe and really nothing all that heavy. Having to use the windshield wipers if you're out and about for this evening. 76 degrees at Midway, 74 right now at O'Hare. Average high this time of the year, low 80s, so the clouds and rain keeping us cooler than average. So that's areas of the evening, so 8, 9 o'clock, and then late evening into the overnight. Look at all these thunderstorms starting to develop. That's a front that will give us that shot of thunderstorms, especially as we get closer to midnight. One of the high-res models wants to push in some thunderstorms as early as 11 p.m. in the northwestern suburbs, then by 1 a.m. in Chicago, and watch some heavier downpours down here towards the south in the overnight around Kankakee and stretching into northwest Indiana. Our main concern this evening and overnight is going to come from thunderstorms producing winds as high as 50 miles per hour, some small hail, but even some intense downpours that create some ponding on the roadway. The good news, though, as we head into tomorrow morning, watch us dry out, certainly by mid-morning, and then the clouds disappear in the afternoon. Sunshine and a west wind drying things out and boosting those highs into the 90s. And then here comes the cool air. Wind shifting more out of the north on Sunday, 50s in the morning, only in the 70s in the afternoon. Unless you're near the lakeshore, temperatures will be in the 60s with dangerous swimming conditions, high rip current risk for your Sunday. As we head towards Monday, temperatures remain cool at 77. We're going to jump the temperature 10 degrees Tuesday with a storm chance at 87. Better chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday and near 90. And unfortunately, the 4th of July also, Erica, featuring a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mid-80s for highs late next week.
All right. Thank you, Albert. The Cubs continue their road trip with a crucial series against the Brewers, desperately needing wins to get back in the division race. And it's not the #1 pick, but Blackhawks general manager Kyle Davidson is confident their picks this weekend. Tonight at 10, a Chicago artist suffered a stroke in the middle of the pandemic, and it changed the way she saw the world. But she used her recovery to reinvent her art and her health. She's our hidden gem at 10.
I'm Jory Paris. The NHL draft is underway in Las Vegas. The Blackhawks on the clock for the #2 overall pick. They pick again at number 18. We'll have more on the first-round picks tonight at 10. General Manager Kyle Davidson believes the players the Hawks draft over the next 2 days will help them take another step in the rebuild.
I believe it's going to leave us in a really, really strong spot from a prospect and young, player standpoint. And so. A couple of years ago, this is where we wanted to be. We want to be in this position where we feel really good about not just a handful of players, but a number of players and a collection of players that we could really see coming up and forming something special. And I strongly believe that we'll leave Vegas feeling that way.
Cubs pitcher Keegan Thompson placed on the 15-day injured list with a right rib fracture ahead of their series opener in Milwaukee. Right-handers Ethan Robert and Jorge Lopez were recalled from AAA Iowa, and Vinny Natoli was designated for assignment. It's a games back. An interesting second round for leader Akshay Bhatia at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. On the 17th hole, he sent his tee shot down the fairway. His ball seems to disappear there, but when he had walked down to check it out, he found his ball ended up in a literal drain. He ended up getting a par and finished his round with a 67 at 13 under. And the Blackhawks just selected defenseman Artem Leshovanov with the #2 overall picks. We will have more on him coming up tonight at 10.
All right. Interested to see what his contributions are to the team. Thank you, Jory. Well, Albert is back now with the final check of the First Alert forecast. Albert.
A couple of areas of light rain. Temperatures are going to hold very close to where we are right now through the overnight, low at 72. And then after midnight, a chance for some thunderstorms. Couple could be on the heavy side. A lot of that moves out by 8:30 tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, more sunshine, a strong west wind, 90 degrees for the high. Significantly cooler, though, only in the 60s and 70s on Sunday.
Thank you, Albert. And that is it for the CBS 2 News at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Irika Sargent. We'll see you right back here for the CBS 2 News at 10.